Good evening, race fans. Here tonight for a special show, DirtKars season finale, race number 13 at Cedar Lake. We're going to be dancing on the dirt with these modifieds. Excited to get this started. We're going to be rolling some heat races and then a 50-lap main and then crowning a champion. A little bit different than what we normally do at Outlier TV. I'm your host, Robert Warrens, alongside Mick Olafson. Mick, how you feeling tonight, brother?
Oh, I'm pretty good. We've had a great season so far. We're going to cap it off here tonight at Cedar Lake like we do every season.
Well, it's going to be like a new venue for me, but we're going to see these guys sliding around, dancing. The first heat is just getting ready to rock, so we're going to take a look at that grid. Hopefully it shows right. Evans on the pole with Bradshaw in second. In the third spot is Shortman with Northcutt on the outside. And George and Walbring in row 3. I think this is showing the whole field. Row 4 is, it is the whole field. Mediocre broadcasting, Mick. We got it covered. So that'll probably show right in the main, but it's definitely not set up for heats.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, it's showing everything.
Yeah, so 10 laps here, and that's going to decide our starting lineup for the feature. Looks like we might be broken up into 3 heats. So the first place cars from the heats will start 1, 2, and 3. Then second would be 4th, 5th, and 6th, and then so on through the field. So it's a little different setup than most guys are used to for asphalt style racing.
Yeah, it's interesting for me is that the timing tower isn't showing correctly, and I'm not sure why. So hopefully that sorts itself out as it goes along. But it should be good for the main. Taking the green under the heat here, these 4 guys are going to start moving around. Wonder what's part of the track is going to become dominant. You can see the top side is got the dirt up high where you can get a little extra grip, but the bottom side looks like it's rolling for that 112 machine, or is that the 151?
Nope, that is the 112, yep. Which is actually Evans. He doesn't have his number set up right. So on the ticker it says 97.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of managing that middle groove. In behind him is newcomer Durbora.
Yeah, you can see the dark spot as you're entering turn 3. That is going to be the very slick part of the track. To run through there, you got a very good throttle control because you'll burn your tires up quick trying to run through the slick.
And these, these modifieds aren't easy to handle. So, we're going to hop in the cockpit and see, maybe in the cockpit of the 3 machine, or it's Derberaz putting the pressure on Evans, actually, or Evans, you can pop in the cockpit of him to see if he's gaining momentum. You can see he's rolling the center just a little bit better.
A much tighter line against those tires.
But only 3 laps to go. It's probably not going to be enough time to make a move. But good heat race and good battle. George on the high side. See, Turbo Raw using the high side first time he gets up there. And he's going to be tight. I don't know if he's going to make a move. Yeah, Evans does a good job grabbing that heat win.
Yeah, the 41, he definitely gave it all he had on that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, interesting battle there. You saw the 112 machine slide up slightly, and rightfully so, protecting that high line, and that definitely disturbed that 41's run outside. Oh, now the timing tower wants to come in, Mick. Heat number 2. Firebaugh, Andrews, Johnson, Steele, and Northcutt. I don't think Northcutt is in the field. Not showing connected right now. Ooh, end of the line.
Has opted for a end of longest line. He didn't want to start up the front since it's his first night with us.
A couple of newcomers tonight.
Michael Steele, champion from this season and defending champion from last season. He's going to be rolling off in P4. That's a car you want to keep an eye on, a number 5 car on the top side.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out, too, because, that the 45 and the 88, they're going to battle, and Steele's going to have to navigate that dirty surface and see if there's room. So a lot of camber. You can see the camber in that right front wheel of these modifieds, and that's definitely helping them get around the corners.
Yes, it does.
Heat number 2 taking the green. 45. Johnson gets a good start, but Andrews almost makes a move on the outside. Steals. Gets boogieing on the bottom, and he's already up to that second spot as the 88 slides back.
Down on the bottom was where Steele generally loves to run. He's very good down there.
It takes a lot of throttle control to make it work down there. But 8 laps left. It's gonna fly by, and Johnson looks like he's got good car control. The car looks gripped up. But Steele's doing a good job of just keeping pressure only 0.3 back. Trying to generate momentum running the high groove. Johnson sliding around high and low. It looks like he's trying to defend and stop momentum from Steele, but Steele's got to run on the outside. Johnson's got to give some track space. Steele's gonna have a good run off the slider. Great battle.
Over move. Ooh.
Yeah, that was tight quarters, but Johnson moving up the high side of the track, allowing Steele to slide back up. He's gonna cross him over. 4 laps to go. if this is any indication of what the main's going to look like, we're in for a treat. Both
I think they
drivers,
swapped the lead like 4 times that lap.
yeah, both drivers using bought the all parts of the corners to find speed and make moves. So tight battle, but it's looking like Johnson. Oh,
Ooh.
steel, hard contact with the wall. That's probably not going to hurt that big dirt mod, and white flag is out. Johnson opening up a 3/10 gap. Seal trying to make a run on the inside, but Johnson's going to have the momentum and grab that second heat win. Oh, that was some awesome battles there, Mick.
Yeah, Michael made it. He still got back to his back bumper coming out of 4.
Yeah. He, when you're not in proximity to another car, you can use the track how you want and get the momentum up. Whereas, like, when you're battling somebody, it's a little bit harder to get that momentum. So, heat number 3 getting underway. 5 cars in this heat. Colt Race, the weapon, in the 10 machine. Walbring, the 33 in second. And swapping, it looks like Walbring's going to the back.
Yep, he opted to start in the rear on this one.
And 151 Thibodeau in second now. Bradshaw in the 44 in third. And the 8 machine in the 4 spot. Walbring opting for the back, just like you said. This should be a good battle. Who are you going to pick here, Mick, in this 10-lap heat?
That 151 was pretty quick in practice, but that 8 has been fast all season long. I feel like I'm gonna go with the 8 car.
All right, 8 it is. I'm gonna stick with the 151. I don't know. I kind of like the pink numbers on the 10, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Check out that 33 car in the back. That one's pretty sweet looking too.
Oh yeah. Pace truck ducking off, getting ready to take the green here for heat number 3. 151 using the high side. He's going to have a run on the exit here. Track looks like it's slicking up on the entry.
It's very quick on entry.
Race on the outside doing a good job defending against the 151 to Thibodeau. Smith in the back battling with the 44 Bradshaw.
Contact between the leaders, but kept it going straight.
They're sending it in and just getting on that right rear. As you said, Smith would be a contender, and both Bradshaw and Smith marching up and tightening up the gap there. These 4 cars in 6/10 of each other. Thibodeau using a little bit more of a like a higher mid line. You can see Race just in behind. They're both running around the same real estate. Five laps to go. 8 machine of Smith on the high side.
Last lap around, the leaders set the fastest lap at a 14:41 for both of them.
For quick lap times, too. It looks like Smith has fallen back about a second of the leaders, and Thibodeau's opened up a little gap over Race. A great job of managing the app, managing the throttle. White flag is out, making it look easy. Philip Thibodeau. One corner with the 5/10 lead. Gonna take
Great
the
race up
third.
front. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the all three heat races are showing that there's a field of drivers here that anyone could kind of take the win.
We're gonna have a 3-minute intermission while these guys kind of run that track in just a little bit more. Gonna make it really racy for the features. During that time, you got time to go to the bathroom, go get yourself a cold beverage, and make sure you jump on down to Randy in the Chicken Shack and tell him I said hi.
What's up, Randy? Oh, a
So
beautiful
my local
facility.
shack is Bemidji Speedway in northern Minnesota, and we are home of the Chicken Shack Nationals every season in the spring.
Oh, really? That's cool. So this will set a kind of a good indication of fast lap times here. We see Steele already ripping a 14.2. Be interesting to see how the grid stacks up and what type of racing we see when we
I
take
would
the green.
expect that this track is going to change drastically from the beginning of the race to the end of this race. Um, Generally, it's pretty top side dominant for a while, and then they'll move down to the bottom, and you never know, they might move back up to the top before the end of it.
Well, you're gonna have to, slide around to find where the most grip is, where you can get the throttle down, generate the speed, and I imagine as these guys are heating up their tires, it's gonna slick up the track more and more, like you said. One minute left of warm up.
One thing with these modifieds you do have to be careful with is that right front tire. You slap the wall one too many times, you're going to bust the control arm pretty quick.
I would imagine that's not too good of a feeling if you either bust the control arm or knock out the toe. I mean, you're already, having a lot of wheel. Ooh, carnage in warm-ups, but you're already having a lot of wheel input and sliding around. So I would imagine having your steering offset or off center because of bad toe isn't going to be a great feeling whatsoever. That's it, Mick. Getting ready to grid up for the main.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Michael Steele had the fastest in practice, and he did run faster lap times than they did during that last heat.
So taking a look at our grid, let's see if it works this time. So taking the pole is Evans and Johnson on that front row. In row 2, Thibodeau and Durbera. Row 3 is Steele and Race. Row 4 is Shortman and Andrews. Row 5 is Smith and Patrick. Row 6, Wireboat and Bradshaw. Row 7 is George, and Northcutt is not in the field. And Walbring rounding out the field.
I'm pretty excited to see how this one's going to go. Michael Steele is always going to be pretty fast, but man, that 51 was really laying down some lap times during practice and during his heat race.
Yeah, I think, it's going to come down to managing equipment and finding grip. Like, who's got the set dialed in? They're running something tacky, they're running something slick. And, it's not necessarily being fast right at the start, it's being fast at the end. So, it's I think it's, I'm a newcomer here, Mick, but I see a lot of fast cars, a lot of even pace cars.
Yes, sir. And the one thing you do have to manage on these longer races is that tire wear. It's pretty easy to burn up your right rear running through that slick spot.
Evans on the high side, Thibodeau on the bottom. Thibodeau is got a nose down the stretch. And it looks like he's going to be able to clear next corner. Evans runs him tight. Evans gets up almost too high. Let's see if Thibodeau slides up the track a bit to protect. 3 wide.
3 wide.
Yeah, this is spicy. Turbo Raw with Johnson trying to put pressure on Evans. They don't want Thibodeau to run away too far. And you can see Steele in that 5th spot. Looks like Steele's managing his equipment a little bit more. He doesn't have that car as yawed out as what the other drivers do.
I think he's just really kind of being patient to see what plays out in front of him here.
But I mean, very impressive here. 10 cars all within, just over 2 seconds of each other. Evans brushing the wall. That 97 is getting his tires up in the fresh dirt, and he's making a run on the outside of Thibodeau. Might get a run on the exit here if he's able to get the power down.
Almost looked like he had him at the line.
Yeah. He's got him there, that's for sure. Evans shown as the leader at the line again. Excellent battle up front. Johnson and Durborough duking it out for that 3rd and 4th spot. This one's flying by, Mick. We're already coming to the completion of lap 10. And we're seeing some tight racing for the lead. Thibodeau on the outside of the 97 with the 41 in tow.
He's right on their bumper. Ooh, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, that's non-consensual touching, that's for sure. Thibodeau's getting a big run on the exits. A little bit further back, looking at Dakota Shortman. Falling back a couple spots. John Patrick just in front of him. The 10 machine of Colt Race, 7th. 88 of Andrews in 6th. Blake Johnson in the 45. Making a move on Steele for the 4th spot. Steele's going to be in the 5th spot as he's crossing him over here. Steele's got the spot. Just wait. Switch it around. Awesome battle up front. Durborough and Evans crossing each other over.
Got some contact between Thibodeau and 45 of Johnson. There's 3 whites and 3rd coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, there's no room for anyone to make an error tonight. Championship night here. Somebody wants to go home with the win. Not everyone, well, there is, the championship's already sealed up, but to get the accolade of a win on the season and maybe use that to move into season 13 might be kind of a trend. Can I race hard around these guys? Am I successful? But Evans crossing over the 41 of Durborough. And Johnson.
Into some lap traffic too.
Woo!
There we go.
Yeah, that's going to be a yellow flag. It looked like Evans brushing the wall, and that Berbera got into him. So we'll figure out what happened. That's what we do around here, Mick.
What had happened?
What happened? I'm not sure if this is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but the 112 of Evans pulls a slider up in front of the 41 of Berbera, and the 45 of Johnson also comes in. So we're essentially 3 wide here. And yeah, Evans tags the wall, loses momentum. And Johnson just pushes them on through. Like, what are you supposed to do there?
Yeah, he just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and
Although
I
I'm
think
really impressed with the way everybody was driving. He did not really collect any more cars.
no. And I think if Evans didn't tag the wall there, he probably would have got away scot-free. But Berbera, looking at his nose, did suffer quite a bit of damage on the right front of that mod.
All right, we're getting lined back up, and we do what we call a Delaware style restart here. So if you look at the front, our first place car is going to be in the front row all by himself. Second place got lane choice. He chose the high side, and then we go green on the leader as the 45 comes out of turn 4.
And Steele's now in that second spot, a little bit further back, battling the 151 of Thibodeau.
We got contact.
Oh, big contact. The 10 machine of Race gets turned around. I think he got a little bumper action there. But we'll shout out to
Hey, what
good old
happened?
Chris. What happened? See, let's click this one here. Go on the 10 machine of Race. So that's the 88 of Andrews in behind. And here, 88's on the bottom side. Ooh, so yeah, it looks like he was carrying too much speed, the 10 machine of Race, and gets into the 151, which sends him around. 26 of Patrick gets into him. Nowhere to go, really, but quite a little bit of contact there. You gotta survive to definitely be in the race. Almost just approaching halfway, Mick, and you see the 45 of Johnson. Ooh, showing in the lead.
We have a little bit of technical difficulties with our truck, our pace truck here, so we're trying to get everything lined back up.
Yeah, it looks like Johnson has lapped the field. So, is Johnson our leader? Are we waiting for race control to sort that out?
The 45 is the leader.
Yeah, he's lapped the entire field except the 2 cars in the front. Yeah, everyone's passing the pace truck now to get back on the lead lap. Lights still on the pace truck, so there's time for these guys to settle in. Only 22 laps left, Mick.
I didn't think we were all lined up and ready to go green.
Couple cars showing a lap down, so is that just a result of rolling through the pits and getting repairs done?
It's part of the, I don't know. The SDK scoring doesn't really like dirt racing too much, so sometimes it'll show them a lap down when they're really not. So hopefully that's going to get all ironed out when we go back green. They should show them on the lead lap, I hope.
Silly SDK.
Here we go. Green flag is out.
You're right. SDK does not like dirt racing.
No, and because caution laps don't count.
Yeah, it's gonna muck it up for a couple laps probably. Once they make up the laps, then the tower will catch up. Next time by, we should see them even. So it looks like Johnson, Steele, Thibodeau, Race, Evans, and Andrews are our top 6. Johnson using the high side with Steele in behind.
Start to single file out, get a little more racy. We should see some moves coming.
88 and
Right on the back
Andrews.
bumper there.
Oh, contact. Might see another. No, they're still rolling. Andrews gets a little dicey. There's a yellow flag there.
There it is.
Patrick slowed up on the high side. I think he had trouble gathering it up.
Hey, what happened?
Grab this here. So contact happened further up with Andrews and is that 03 of Shortman. And Andrews tries to gather it up, gets contact from the 26 of Patrick. And Patrick gets hard contact from the 9 of Wirebaugh. And that probably the damaged his steering there, but he just slides right up the track. A little bit more contact there from the 77. I think that's Northcutt. Or the 71 of George. So interesting enough there. It's easy for these things to get turned around because they're already sliding and out of control. So 71 of George.
He was trying to get by to do his wave run, but they weren't giving any room.
Good start by Johnson. Thibodeau trying to get back up front. And Steele tight on the 45 machine. Ooh.
Steele putting a move on for the lead.
You're going to be able to clear here. We see a crossover by the 45 of Johnson. Slides back up. Both drivers fighting for grip on the exit. Just like he said, though, Steele managing the bottom side of the track. Johnson trying to steal some of the clean dirt away from that 5 machine, but not looking too successful. Big run on the high side from the 45 of Johnson. 19 laps to go. 18 as we cross the line. And Steele falling about 5/10 back. Looks like Jason Smith is coming up a little bit. Closing the gap on the 10 of race.
Yeah, he's been slowly marching to the front. He's in 4 positions since this thing started.
And it looks like both Steele and Johnson are fighting for the same real estate on the track. Steele putting a lot of pressure on that 45 machine. Ooh, way up there. A little brush of the wall on that right rear.
Ooh, right to his bumper.
Yeah, it looked like he might have given him a little kiss there. Steele's gonna slide. See the crossover, maybe? Great job by the 45 of Johnson. But Steele's got to run on the high side. He's going to clear on the exit. Steele's going to take the lead for the first, well, kind of clear the lead for the first time tonight. We'll see if the 45 of Johnson's going to be able to put some pressure back on that 5 machine. Twelve laps to go. Looks like Steele's starting to open up a little bit of a gap. Ooh, a little bit crazy back there. They were racing
151.
Yeah, they were racing for a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Woo! Steele almost gets sent to see Jesus.
Hey, what happened?
Take a look at the 41 and the 151 here. So the 151 of Thibodeau. It's contact there from, is that the 8 of Jason Smith?
Yes, it is.
Backing it up. It just looks like Smith had a good run. Thibodeau might have used up his tires a little bit more.
Yeah, and their front tires just kind of touched and hooked together a little bit.
Yeah. Hop in the cockpit here and let's take a look at what he saw. Did the 151 to Thibodeau almost like, yeah, it was the contact. You could see that the left front tire of Thibodeau just crunched down as soon as Smith got into him. Lights are off on the pace truck. Steele's going to be our leader for this restart. Great job by the 45 of Johnson to clear the 10 of race. Jason Smith looks like he's got a quick car. A little tore up. That nose could use a little love, that's for sure.
Challenging race for 3rd.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that. You're just checking in on the 41 of Durbarraw. He had a good run, but he's got no left front tire. That's crazy.
Well, that's not gonna work.
Oh, he's off the track.
Oh, he's way off the track.
Yeah, I think he's driving that into the hauler. The 10 of race brushes the wall on the stretch. That's going to allow Smith to close up that gap. Yellow flag is out. Looks like Evans and Andrews showing that they're getting together.
Hey, what happened?
Gonna look here. So Andrews is a white car on the bottom, Evans on the high side. And Andrews kind of squeezes them out of real estate in the 44 machine. We haven't seen too much of him. Of Bradshaw, that's kind of like a sandwich show. So Andrews becomes a little meat, and Evans is the bun on the top side there. But there's no room for them to get away safely. I think Evans might have clipped the wall and held it up too. So tough break for those drivers. We'll go back to live action. Chad Evans is out of the race. Any intel on that?
Yeah, there was some post-activity contact underneath the caution.
Oof. Going to be a tough break for that, that 97 or the 112 of Evans. He was having a good run, and it was definitely frustrating when you get, pushed to the back and have to claw your way back up through a competitive field. And it doesn't look like Steele's got any competition left in the field. His setup has definitely dialed in as Smith and Race battle it out for that third spot. Smith showing that he's got a lot of tire left and is able to make the pass on that 10 machine. The 45 of Johnson riding the wall. 2 laps to go. Almost a 2-second lead. Making it look easy, that 5 machine.
Michael Steele doing Michael Steele things right there.
Taking the checkered flag for the season finale tonight at Cedar Lake for the DirtKars series. And, he's got to be ecstatic about the win tonight. He marched up 4 spots, so making it look easy, navigating the traffic, and, having the right setup to win. So you got to keep your nose clean. You definitely did that.
Yeah, that car is definitely fast. It's been on rails all season. 9 feature wins out of 12, 13 races.
Yeah, this is race number 13. Crowning a champion. The champion does the, good representation of himself to go ahead and win the finale. Johnson, a good run for him in that 45 machine. And Smith, he marched up 6 spots tonight. So very impressive run for that 8 machine.
Taking the paint on that 8 machine. That's brand new wrap for this evening. Done by Misfit Creations.
Ooh. So we're going to back it up a few laps here. Mick, if you want to pull one of these drivers in for an interview and take the lead on that, we can go ahead and certainly do that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start with our 3rd place driver. Finishing in 3rd tonight, we got Mr. Jason Smith in that 8 car. You had to work your way through that field. Man, that was a exciting race this evening.
Yeah, a little a little bit of a headache there, but I was okay after that one wreck and another car coming through caught my left front, so I had a vibration, couldn't really turn. So that little whatever you want to call it with the caution and everything kind of helped me a little bit to get some repairs. And once I came back out, it was still a little on the loose side, but I found something through the center that I could just kind of roll. And everybody on the outside, it seemed like they couldn't really keep it underneath them, hitting the wall a bunch. So kind of took advantage of that. And yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm pretty happy with the podium here.
Yeah, season finale, 50 laps. We had a big field tonight. You guys put on a really good show tonight.
Yeah, I'd say those first, honestly, 20 laps were pretty clean overall. I mean, you couldn't really ask for much more. We were nose to tail for a while, just kind of cruising. I think everybody was trying to keep their tires underneath them so they didn't burn them up too quick.
Nose to tail. At some points, we were 3, 4 wide. Good racing.
Yeah, Justin was to the outside of me. He's like, I can't see a thing, and luckily I could have some vision on the bottom still.
Jason, did you have a preference on where you'd prefer to run on the track? Were you favoring the low or the high side? Where'd you find the speed as you were driving through the night?
I mean, I thought I was going to be going to the top side and cruising up there, but eventually I just kind of saw how black the track was getting and how much I could hear the guys on the outside spinning the tire a little bit, but they had momentum, so I just kind of moved to the center and just tried to slow roll that, and it seemed like there was a decent amount of grip there if you just kind of really woed it down and kept it straight going in.
Yeah, and it really showed that you had late race pace. So definitely noticing that they were slipping and you were finding grip probably helped you seal the deal on the late race battle with that 10 machine. Um, good job on your third place tonight. It was fun to watch the race.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a challenging track, but overall I've had a lot of fun. This was a really good season, honestly.
Yeah, you bring home second place tonight behind Michael Steele. You had 11 starts, 7 top 5s, all 11 top 10s. I think if you wouldn't missed a couple races, you'd been right there in the hunt.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was still fairly, I guess, new to these cars in the sense of trying to get good at them for this season. I only ever really drove them a handful of times, so I was learning as I go, and I know Michael's got a history with these, so would have been tough, but I don't know. You never know what could have happened.
Definitely would have made it interesting.
Definitely.
Hopefully, we'll see you back next season to challenge Mr. Steele for that championship.
I'm gonna try.
All right, buddy. Who do you want to give a shout out to before we cut you loose tonight?
Wellman Sim Racing, Jane Deere Virtual Motorsports, Ohio Valley Sim Sports, and you guys at DirtKars for putting on such a fantastic season.
Thank you very much, buddy. We will see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Well, definitely nice to hear from Jason on his good run, good, finish for the season, and his, I guess, his thirst for coming back for season 13.
Yes, sir. Well, now up in the booth with us, we got the number 45, Mr. Blake Johnson. Blake led quite a bit of tonight's race, but man, Michael Steele was quick. Blake,
Yeah, he sure was. I knew there when I was leading, I had something for him, but I sustained too much rear end damage, and I knew that eventually, if he could get that 1 and 2 top, that it was gonna get pretty dicey, and it did. And I just kept getting tight on entry every time, and didn't really have nothing for him.
what
Well,
was your tires like there at the end?
They were pretty gone. Like my right rear uh was pretty gone, but it was it's about it's pretty bald. Needless to say.
watching you battle throughout the night, Blake, was definitely a treat. And you held off that five machine for as long as you could, used up the track where you could, and you had some nice crossovers. Was there something that you could have done differently to dethrone that 5?
Man, I would like to think so. Like I kept realizing there towards the end that I could get a run like out the middle of 4. But once he got so much of a gap, it was more so like we were just running at the same pace. Like he couldn't, like, to me, like after I let him get that far out, like I found the line and found something decent, but we were pretty much running the same speed, so I couldn't catch him, and we just kind of held that for the last 5 or so laps to go.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when there is that gap and the track's used up and you're fighting for grip. But you definitely put on a good show for us tonight.
Yes, sir. I try to race about as clean and put on a show every time, and I don't like that train racing, so I try to leave room so we can race. Because I mean, when he got up there, I probably could have tried to pinch him, but I didn't want to. I don't want to race that way.
I'll appreciate it. I mean, and you guys put on a heck of a show. There must have been 3 or 4 laps where you guys were throwing sliders and changing the lead back and forth. 3 to 4
Yeah, that's
times
some
every
of the
lap.
best racing to me. Is slider
Look,
racing.
heck
Love
yeah,
it.
and it looked good on TV.
Oh yeah, I hope so. We try to put on a show, man. That's just me. I like to race clean, but I like to you got to earn it.
Well,
Thank you very much. Oh, go
yes.
ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say impressive run for you tonight, Blake. Sharp looking paint and finishing second tonight. You got to be proud of that. Make sure you go check out the broadcast afterwards because you definitely got a lot of airtime with your run at the start. But who do you want to give a shout out to for your second place finish tonight?
Mm,
I mean, other than
I don't
me,
even know.
you could just
Uh,
thank Mick and I. That's all.
yeah. Well, thank y'all for hosting this race, man. Like I know I didn't come in here and start running the points or everything, and y'all been real welcoming and just letting me in here. The past couple of races, man, I've just wanted to finish one of these because every time I've pretty much taken myself out with the wall. So I'm just
Well, that's
glad to
never good.
finish one of these, and yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for throwing it up, man. These are pretty good fun tracks by the end of the night. Very racy.
Yeah, very racy. It was good to see it, and we look forward to seeing you back, hopefully for season 13.
Yeah, I plan to be here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Blake.
Yep, thank y'all.
All right, we're gonna get the man of the hour up in here, getting it done once again in that number 5 car, Michael Steele.
How's it going?
I mean, it's going pretty good. How are you feeling about your win tonight and being the season 12 champion?
Honestly surprised about winning the race tonight. It was good to see more cars back in the field again after kind of losing some of them last week, and glad to see them back, and glad to see it was for the most part a pretty clean race. I felt like I tried to honestly once I realized that I wasn't going to win my heat, I tried to on the initial start of the feature, I tried to just kind of pace myself, and I figured that some sort of chaos would happen, and then almost got collected, and it thankfully didn't. After that, just try to save tire a little bit until probably about 25 to go, and just said it's time to start moving around and finding where the speed is.
Were you nervous at all watching the battle up front between the 155, the
Um,
45, and the 112? Like they had, you were sitting fifth a lot of the race, like you said, and you didn't march up until that halfway point. So did you think that they were gonna kiss a little too much, and you might have got that nose
yeah,
dirty of
yeah,
yours?
yeah. After a couple weeks ago and how that played out, I figured that a couple had a good feeling that they were gonna to wipe out at some point. So yeah, I figured I could just follow close enough behind them for the first half of the race or whatever it was, and wait for that caution to come out, and hoped it collected a few of them, and then was able to save some tire also. That way, once I did make the move to the top and everything, it would just I feel like I just had better tire than most of them at the end.
Yeah, you definitely were conserving more. You could see that you weren't getting the cars yacht out and stomping on the throttle as much from what I could see, and it definitely paid dividends for you tonight because you were there when it mattered most and stole that checkered flag.
Yeah, this isn't exactly one of my favorite tracks. I've thankfully won a few season finales over the years here and learned some things, but yeah, it's not particularly my favorite track, and I just feel like it's so easy to get loose and driving off the right rear, and I really just try to manage that and keep the car as straight as possible, like you said, and thankfully it worked out.
All right, Mr. Mick, what do you want to say to season champ, Mr. Steele?
Mitch fall asleep.
Maybe.
That's that's all right. Um, yeah, I'll just go ahead and thank everybody, I guess. Shout out shout out to Mick and Dean and all them for always putting up with us, like I always tell Mick, and putting up with our attitudes and giving us something to race, and Appreciate you coming on board. It was enjoyable to go back and watch our Monday night races whenever y'all were doing the broadcast and everything. So I was excited to see y'all come on board for the season finale, and can't wait to go back and rewatch it. Shout out to my wife and my daughter. They went to go have dinner with her dad. Or her parents. It's her dad's birthday, so happy birthday to him. I wish I could be there, but I definitely wanted to do this and let the daughter pick out my paint schemes for tonight. Hopefully, look good on the broadcast and everything. So,
Look sharp, man.
beside that, just still graphic designs, Raw Staunton Racing, Peanut Baker Racing, 51 Raceworks, JBM, Elite Crappie Jigs, Elite Bait and Tackle, Elite Performance Industries, Rise Bracelets, Mama Tried Bowling Caps. Hopefully, that's all of them.
Yeah, I mean that's a short list. Uh,
Yeah.
Michael, you gonna be coming back for season 13 and trying to grab another championship? Is that in your plans?
Yeah. As long as Mick will have something for us to race, I'll definitely be here. I've been racing with this league for a long time now, and always going to be here and support anything that he puts on dirt. I've also, obviously, since you got to see my Monday endeavors, I'm a little bit better at dirt. I feel like than Mondays. I'm not terrible on asphalt, but it's definitely not my forte. So, still working on that. I think I'm 7 points out of the championship, or they get into the chase for the championship. So, need a good week on Monday, and hopefully we can get in for that. And if not, then probably gonna just park the car until all the new season start up.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I kind of appreciate what you said there. It's like the asphalt side is a little bit different, and I think the car is probably the biggest challenge in running that older style car. But it's good racing overall on the Monday night series. But you make it look easy on dirt, to be honest. So
Yeah, I appreciate it. I put a lot of time. I used to bowl professionally. I don't know if we've ever really talked, but I used to bowl professionally and had to quit that. So pretty much whenever I quit bowling, I just put a lot of that drive into just figuring out this dirt racing stuff and everything like that. So yeah, it's put in a lot of laps and still got a lot to learn. So
I mean, good. Like you did your shout outs. Just once again, congrats on the win. Congrats on the championship, and know, maybe you'll paint up a dirt car and come battle you on a Thursday night and see how I do. But dirt's not my forte. I'm more of a asphalt guy. So
yeah, I feel you. Definitely. If you need a wrap or anything, come hit me up. We'd love to have you race, and I'll do whatever I can to try to help. I'm not a great coach, but I'll definitely put in some laps with you, and I try to help anybody that comes along that wants to get into this. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I heard Mick. Mick, you woke up. What happened to you? Where'd you go?
I was saving my replay and my stuff froze up on me.
That's
Stupid
crazy.
computer.
Well, we had a good chat with Michael. Congratulate him on the championship. Said he gave a shout out to his sponsors and his family and whatnot. Is there any you want to give any pats on the back to Mr. Steele before we sign off for the night?
Definitely. I think Michael probably set one of the records that's going to last a long time in the dirt cars, and that's winning 9 features out of 13 races.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to come close to that anytime soon, unless it's Michael bidding it next season with 10.
yeah, I mean, hopefully it becomes harder if we keep having the fields like we had tonight. I think that if we can have more cars in here, it'd obviously be a little bit harder to do that. We have a great group, but there for a long time we only had about 10 of us. So no discredit to them, but it's definitely a lot harder the more cars in the field and more chaos or whatever it might be.
More chaos, and it changes the track too. Like we saw tonight, how racy that track got and how slick it got too.
Yeah, it was a blast. Like I said, this track's not one of my favorites, but I have learned a lot over the years of having this as our season finale track. And even whenever you used to run the 100 lappers, it makes the 50 lappers feel 10 times easier. So, yeah, just glad to get the win. And I forgot to shout out my parents. So always my mom and dad. I'm sure my dad was hopefully watching everything. If not, then he'll go back and watch it at some point. So, appreciate everybody who tunes in and checks me out and watches me try to get these championships.
All right. Well, thanks for hopping up in the booth with us. Once again, just congrats on your championship and your win tonight. And well, hopefully, we'll be talking again soon, Mr. Steele.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all have a great evening.
Take care,
Thank you,
buddy.
Michael. You too, buddy.
All right, Mick. Closing out season 12. Treat to come here for tonight for race number 13. And do you just want to close this out with some final thoughts on the night before we sign off?
Yeah, we saw some great racing. A lot of door-to-door stuff. I can't wait to see what next season brings. For DirtKars on Thursday night next season, I'm pretty sure the UMP modifieds are going to be back again. But our street stock series is going to be replaced with what we're going to call the hobby stock series. It's going to be the asphalt street stock on dirt. So the Monte Carlos and the Ford Thunderbirds on dirt. I think it's going to be a blast.
I mean, that's awesome to hear. We'll just quickly recap some of the race results for tonight. So we talked to our top three finishers, Steele, Johnson, and Smith. Hard Charger goes out to the 44 machine of Bradshaw, who finished fifth. Colt Race grabbed that fourth spot. Fastest lap went out to Steele, and pole position was Evans, who suffered some heavy damage and then was ultimately disqualified from the race. So tough break for him, but we saw a lot of great racing up front. 7 lead changes with 5 different leaders, a lot of crossovers, clean sliders, all that stuff that you could expect from dirt racing. And, happy that Outlier TV could be here tonight to crown a champion for the DirtKars series in season 12. So, Mick, thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. And it was fun to spend time with you once again.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm Robert Warrens. He's Mick Olson. We're going to be signing off for Outlier TV. And, thank you everyone for tuning in, and have a great evening, everyone.